Hi, this is Tej from the Samsung Omnia HD blog. Today I wanted to give you a quick run through the beta for Opera Mobile 10 that was released for S60 handsets for both 3rd edition and 5th edition, like the i8910. The browser itself, I've been playing around with it just a little today, and it seems to have some significant extras over the stock browser. As well as, there are some negatives as well where the stock browser does come up trumps. But I just wanted to give you a quick walkthrough the browser itself, and you can see for yourself. So here it is. This is Opera Mobile 10. As you can see, you've got different speed dials there. I don't know whether many of you are familiar with Opera, but Opera have these speed dials which act like a speed dial on a phone where you can assign certain web browsers to. So you can just click on one. So say if I click on this one, it will load up that particular page. Now this is our home page. Click on that. We're just connecting through via Wi-Fi at the moment. So just waiting for that to load. That will come through. I mean, the speeds itself, to be honest, I haven't noticed them being that much quicker than the stock browser. It's pretty much there, and thereabouts. It does seem to render pages quite nicely. As you can see, you get the full desktop version there. Just quick double tap, and that will zoom you through to the actual to the actual text itself. So you can see, this is a home page here. You can scroll up and look at the text, etc. If you want to zoom back again, you just click this button there. Now the other great thing about this browser is that you've actually got tabs. So you've got tab support finally in a browser. You just click at the bottom here, and you can change them. So say if I want to go to a different web page, I go back to the speed dial by clicking this. Go to the BBC News page. I can wait for that to load, and it does seem to render it nicely. It's quite smooth scrolling. The browsing's reasonably fast. Another nice thing about this, which some of you may have noticed already, if I just quick tap, is that there's kinetic scrolling here as well. I haven't really found any ways to adjust the speed, etc., but you can do it, which is nice to have. It's certainly a more pleasurable experience to use than you have in the stock browser. So say if we want to just click on a link here. It seems to be very intuitive as well. You can double click here. If you want to select text, you just hold down your finger, and you got a little pop-up that comes up. You click that, and you can select your text, and then it tells you what you can do with it. So you can copy, search with it, etc., and decide what you want to do with it. If you want to change the website manually, obviously just try to go into a link there. So say if I wanted to actually go into a website, so you've got, this is the keyboard that comes up. Now you can see this is different obviously to the handset's default keyboard. It is a bit tricky to use. It is all on one bit, even if you do turn it around. It does make it slightly easier, but it still feels a bit fiddly to use. The letters are a bit close together. I mean, you can get used to it. There's no problem there. But quite a handy tip is that if you do want to use the main keyboard that you're used to, if you just click into settings and then go into advanced inline editing, if you click inline editing off and then go back, you click back in here, you can see that you get the Samsung keyboard instead. So that's quite handy to know as well. So there is a certain amount of customization that you can actually do with this. The other thing that you can do is, if you go into settings and bookmarks, I haven't really added anything, I've only been playing this for just a little while today. If you can go into the Opera config file. If you go into the Opera config file, you are able to change a lot of settings. That literally is that address there, and then you can go. I'm not sure whether you can see that in any great depth, but there's a number of different settings that you can actually change there yourself. So it seems to be quite handy. There are a few negatives. One of them is that there is no flash support, so no YouTube or anything like that. There's no sound or tactile feedback. When you do click on a link, which you do get in the other browser, so that could be a problem. The other thing that people have reported is that it can be a bit of a battery eater as well. So I've not retested it long enough to actually have any opinion on that myself, but it certainly changes the game. It certainly makes the handset a lot easier to use than the traditional handset. With the fact that you've got kinetic scrolling on the browser as well. It's quite smooth. It gives you a desktop experience. It gives you a number of different customization options, either in the Opera config file or even through advanced. And you switch Opera Turbo on and off, and that's quite handy when you're in a low bandwidth area, for example. Or you can have mobile view on or off. Going back into the settings there, you can even change the amount, the standard zoom that you want, whether you want it 60 to 200%. So it seems to be, a very worthy addition. It'll be interesting to see what happens when this comes out of beta, whether the company will charge for it or not. But to be quite honest, I mean, it's such a pleasurable experience, especially compared to the stock browser, that I think it would be worth it. Obviously, depending on how much it costs. But it certainly changed, my view of the handset just by coming out.